What up, y'all? Wanted to do a follow-up to the video that I did yesterday about lazy, uninvolved fathers. Backwoods had a good comment on my video about the baby boomer generation. Yeah, I would not disagree with you, my friend. My parents are baby boomers. Sounds like yours are too. And it's not like abuse didn't happen, and it's not like neglect didn't happen before the baby boomers, but I think you're onto something when, at least, I don't know if you explicitly stated this, but you seem to imply that neglect and abuse became kind of mainstream with the baby boomers. And let's look at the influences that the baby boomers had. I mean, you know, the baby boomers went through the 60s. Unfortunately, we had the Vietnam War back then, which was an unjustified, stupid war based on lies. It was not like World War II, where you were saving the world, you know, where you were storming the beaches of Normandy to free Europe from the oppressive hand of the Nazis. It was basically invading a country that, for the most part, they didn't even want us there. You know, it was a war machine profit type of a war. So the baby boomers did have a legit complaint about that. But the more I look at the 60s and like the drug revolution and the, you know, you look at all this stuff that came out of the 60s, how much good came out of the 60s besides the music? I mean, music was awesome. A lot of it, at least. 60s and 70s, a lot of the music was good. What else came out of the 60s that was good? I mean, the government really did a lot of bad things. The government did a lot to harm society. The government created LSD. You know, LSD fucked people up. Straight up fucked them up. You could say, yeah, it's you know, it expanded our consciousness, but you know, again, when you have an expansion of consciousness, it's up to you on how you're going to use it. Are you going to use it for good, or are you going to use it for evil? And unfortunately, human beings have proven time and time again that we typically use any type of advancements in technology or any type of expansion of consciousness or anything like that, we use it for evil. You know, you look at the MK Ultra experiments. How are we that much different from the Nazis? The experiments that we did on people. MK Ultra. Operation, I think it was called Operation Monarch. You know, all this stuff is public information. You guys can look it up. Ted Kaczynski was a subject in MK Ultra. He was a subject in that. And for whatever reason, I don't know how LSD got released into society. I don't, you know, I mean, it started in the government. I don't know how it got released into society. Like, how, it's like somebody stole the formula, and so like they figured out how to make it, or something. I don't know. I have no idea. But the influence that it had on the attitudes, look at the, you know, that was the sowing period. Sowing the seeds of so-called freedom and all that. And then now the jury is in. The jury was out for a long time, but now it's in. Now the jury has deliberated, and what is the verdict on the 60s, on what type of people they turned out to be, what type of leaders they turned out to be, what type of parents they turned out to be. Not good. You know, you had President Bill Clinton. Sorry, not a good president. Some people would disagree with me there, but you had a lot of the baby boomer parents who just like Beckwith had said, you know, just lazy, uninvolved. You had feminism, which feminism had been ramping up for centuries actually before that, but it got kicked into high gear in the 60s. Feminism. What did feminism do for society? What did it do? Tell me a good thing that feminism did for society. For the most part. Again, I'm free to hear somebody disagree with me on that. For the most part, feminism destroyed society. Feminism threw women into the workplace when they didn't necessarily want to be there. You got women coming into the workplace. Here's the biggest economic argument against feminism. You basically had half the adults working before feminism kicked into high gear, and then you had a very, very high percentage of adults, like maybe 90% of adults, which includes most men and most women now, working. So what does that do? That takes the mother away from the children. So now babysitters are raising kids. Daycares are raising kids instead of parents. Is that good? Of course not. Of course not. Of course not. How is that good? Daycare is something you have to do. It's not something you want to do. It's something you have to do. Well, somebody explain to me why we only needed one working parent back in the 50s. Why? I know the answer. I'm wondering if you do. Why was it that a man, a father, could work a job and make enough money to pay the mortgage, the car payment, go on vacations, groceries, electric bill, phone bill, everything else, save for retirement? How could one person do that before? The answer is so simple that it would probably shock you how easy and simple the answer is. The answer is a simple economic formula, which is the more people work in a society, the more money is created in a society. Shit, my phone fell. The more money that's created in society, the more expensive things become. So you have women who are working and they're like, yay, we can have careers now. Yay. Yeah, good for you. You stopped raising your kids so that you could be a fucking manager at McDonald's. Good for you. Good for you, honey. Or you could be a typist somewhere. You could be a receptionist somewhere. Which unfortunately is a lot of what women do, still to this day. Good for you. You sacrificed your children for your fucking stupid ass career. If you want to call it a career. And now there's more money being created in society, which makes everything more expensive because there's more money out there to bid up the costs of goods and services. So now that we're in the year 2023, now you gotta work because everything's so expensive. There's the rub. Everything's so expensive now that you have to work. Now, whether you want a career or not, ladies, you gotta work. That's what you get. That's what you get. Just ask my wife. She doesn't want to work. She doesn't want to work. She wants to stay home and raise the kids. But she has to work. Now, if I could make, $200,000 a year or whatever, then she wouldn't have to work, but I can't make that right now. I've come close to making that before in the past, but where mortgages are right now, can't do it. Anyway, I don't think the 60s did much. They just got a bunch of people addicted to drugs. They got a bunch of people with a so-called liberation, freedom mindset that really didn't liberate anything. It actually enslaved them further. And you had so many fathers caught up in the, I just want to do what I want to do. I just want to be free, you know. Well, then don't have kids at all. But you think you're going to have kids and then be free? And then not have the responsibility of being a father and being a husband? That's what you want? Yep. That's what the 60s did for us.